Once upon a time, in a quiet little town named Soliceville, there lived a young girl named Mira. Mira had just turned 21, and life was beginning to feel different, heavier, somehow. She had always imagined adulthood as a grand adventure, filled with freedom and excitement. Yet, now that she was stepping into it, she found herself in a maze of choices, responsibilities, and emotions she couldn't quite name. Mira's days were a mix of studying for her degree, working a part-time job, and trying to figure out what she truly wanted in life. It wasn't easy. The mornings felt rushed, the evenings lonely, and the nights restless. One such evening, as she sat by her window staring at the moon, her grandmother came into her room. Granny had always been Mira's safe space. She carried a quiet wisdom that Mira often sought. That night, Granny noticed the cloud in Mira's eyes. "What's troubling you, my dear?" she asked gently. Mira sighed. "Granny, being an adult is not what I thought it would be. I feel like I'm juggling so much, and no matter what I do, I'm always dropping something. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's hard. It feels like my emotions are all over the place." Granny smiled softly and took Mira's hand. "My dear, adulting is like learning to dance in a storm. It's not about controlling the wind, but finding your rhythm within it. Let me tell you a story that might help." Mira nodded, curious. "There was once a young tree," Granny began, "standing tall in a forest. It had just grown past its sapling years and was learning what it meant to stand strong against the seasons. In spring, it blossomed with hope and promise. In summer, it basked in the warmth of opportunities. But when autumn came, it felt the weight of its falling leaves, and in winter, it stood bare, exposed to the cold. The tree often wondered, why must I lose my leaves? Why must I stand in the cold? Then one day, an old oak whispered to it, the falling leaves are not your loss but your strength. They make way for new growth. The cold reminds you to rest, to reflect. Every season shapes you, just as every emotion shapes who you are. And so, the young tree learned to embrace its seasons, knowing that each had a purpose. Mira listened intently, her grandmother's words sinking in. But Granny, how do I deal with the emotions? Sometimes they feel so overwhelming. Granny nodded. Emotions are like waves, Mira. Scientists say that our emotions are deeply tied to our survival instincts. Fear helps us avoid danger, joy encourages connection, and sadness allows us to process loss. But just like waves, they come and go. When you learn to ride them instead of fighting them, they guide you to clarity. How do I ride them? Mira asked. Start by naming them, Granny said. When you feel something, pause and ask yourself, what is this emotion? Why am I feeling it? Naming your emotions gives you power over them. Then, breathe through them. Take slow, deep breaths and remind yourself that no emotion lasts forever. Finally, act. Use your emotions as signals. If you feel stressed, it might mean you need rest. If you are excited, it's a sign to pursue something meaningful. Mira nodded, her heart feeling lighter. I think I understand. Adulting isn't about having everything figured out, is it? Granny chuckled. Not at all, my dear. It's about learning, growing, and forgiving yourself along the way. It's about finding balance between your responsibilities and your dreams, between your fears and your hopes. And most importantly, it's about being kind to yourself. That night, as Mira lay in bed, she replayed Granny's words in her mind. She thought about the young tree, the waves of emotions, and the idea of dancing in a storm. For the first time in weeks, she felt a sense of calm. She didn't have all the answers, but she realized she didn't need to. Adulting was a journey, not a destination. And so, Mira decided to embrace her seasons, one day at a time, knowing that every step, every stumble, and every triumph was shaping her into the person she was meant to be.